Welcome to today's Explainer. We often treat our modern world of cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and global trade as if it's kind of just magic, entirely weightless and invisible. But today, we're going to absolutely shatter that illusion. We are looking at the hard, unyielding physical reality that's currently colliding with our biggest, most abstract ambitions. And we're starting right at the events of July 18th, 2026.
Right now, the prevailing global story is the sheer vulnerability of our shared systems. Think about it. Energy routes, local water plants, data centers. These physical, on-the-ground assets now carry massive geopolitical weight. We're witnessing a literal collision between sky-high technological ambitions and very hard physical limits.
Okay, let's dive right into part one, the expanding Gulf security crisis, focusing on geopolitics and route scarcity.
What started out as a fairly focused, bilateral standoff between Washington and Tehran has rapidly mutated. It's grown into this geographically dispersed, massive regional security crisis. With fewer and fewer diplomatic off-ramps available, multiple allied partners are simultaneously being pulled right into the fray. And we aren't just looking at primary shipping passages being under threat anymore. We're talking about the critical backup routes, like the oil ports in Yanbu that bypass the Strait of Hormuz. We're looking at military bases, like Prince Sultan Air Base hosting U.S. forces. And honestly, most alarmingly, we are seeing threats to life-sustaining infrastructure, like desalination plants in Kuwait, which are absolute survival necessities when you're dealing with extreme heat.
This kind of physical vulnerability instantly translates to global economics. With alternate export routes threatened, Brent crude spiked near $88 a barrel. And that pain, it doesn't just stop at the gas pump. High diesel margins spread inflation straight through to agriculture, trucking, and retail worldwide. It affects literally everything.
Moving right along to part two, America's AI data center backlash, tech and local consent.
125. That is the number of American locations currently facing nationwide coordinated protests against AI data center development. This is a huge shift, guys. It's the first large, organized challenge to AI that is based entirely on its physical costs, rather than abstract debates about what the software might eventually do.
So while AI obviously has massive national economic appeal, local consent is absolutely plummeting. Only a third of the public supports the current pace of construction, and a mere 14% would actually welcome a facility near their own home. Over half the public is outright opposed or deeply concerned.
What exactly is driving this cross-partisan opposition? Well, citizens aren't really debating AI ideology. They are laser-focused on tangible physical realities. We're talking about very real fears of skyrocketing electricity bills, massive water consumption, noise pollution, and secretive local approval processes. People basically want to know who gets the economic value and who's stuck absorbing the utility bills.
It all boils down to the return of physical reality. Software ambitions are colliding head-on with electricity, water, land, and most importantly, public permission. To actually succeed now, tech developers don't just need computing power. They have to navigate complex environmental permits and secure a true social license from the local communities.
Finally, let's look at part three. India enters the commercial space race, escaping Earth's limits.
As Earthbound infrastructure faces all these bottlenecks we just talked about, private rockets are stepping up and opening brand new routes up in orbit. Skyroot Aerospace, which is a private Indian company, just successfully launched Vikram 1 into orbit. Going from a 2022 suborbital demo to developing 3D printed solid fuel engines to a full-blown orbital launch, that makes India one of the very few nations with private orbital capabilities.
And the commercial stakes here are astronomical. Literally. India is aiming to expand its space economy from $8 billion today to $44 billion by 2033. These private launches can serve a massive market of small satellite customers without them having to squeeze into the crowded schedule of a national space agency. It's a brand new pathway that totally bypasses Earth's congested networks.
So whether it's protecting alternate oil routes in the Red Sea, negotiating water usage for a neighborhood data center, or 3D printing rocket engines to escape earthly limits, the theme is exactly the same. We are hitting the hard, physical boundaries of our rapidly advancing world. Which leaves us with an absolutely critical question to ponder. Can governments and industries clearly explain these complex trade-offs regarding our shared systems before public trust completely disappears? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.